What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another top 10 video. Today, we have cereals. So let's go right into it. Okay, starting off with number 10. This is Life. It's kind of a boring cereal, but there is a way in which it becomes addictive after a while, and it's just so plain that it's good, almost. So, Life at 10. There was a couple others that were very close to it but didn't make the list. That's why Life's at number 10. Number 9 is Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. A second in command to Honey Nut Cheerios. Apple Cinnamon Cheerios, I didn't like them for a while, and then about 2 years ago, I started to really get into them. Now, the milk at the end of these, no one talks about it. There's that little milk you get at the end of cereals, because I drink the milk at the end of my cereal. I don't know what y'all do. Comment down below if you do or not. And the milk at the end of this is one of the best milks you can get at the end of cereals. That sounds so weird, but it works. So Apple Cinnamon Cheerios are at number 9. Okay, so coming in at number 8, we have Crave. Now, I have my issues with Crave, but I also love it as a cereal itself. Taste-wise, it's amazing. It would have been a lot higher if the other issues that I have with it weren't there. The issues I do have is that the box, way too small. There is not enough cereal in there. It costs way too much, but it's just so good. That's why it made the list. The cost and the box size are just not that good, but the taste is amazing, especially just the chocolate is amazing for Crave. So that's why it comes in at number 8. Okay, so number 7 was the best hotel cereal that you can get in those little cups, Fruit Loops. Now, Fruit Loops are one of the most bland yet good cereals, because if you have them dry, they're good. If you have them with milk, they're almost worse with milk than by themselves, but they're still pretty good. There's not really anything that totally stands out about them or that makes them not as good as the others. So it's kind of a middle at number 7. But Fruit Loops are a great childhood cereal for me. I don't have them as much anymore, but ages 6 to 11, loved them. So that's why Fruit Loops are at number 7. Okay, so number 6 is Cocoa Pebbles. Now, when I was with Apple Cinnamon Cheerios, I was talking about the milks at the end of cereals. Apple Cinnamon Cheerios is up there, but Cocoa Pebbles probably has the best milk you can get. It basically just turns it into chocolate milk. And it's kind of like as in Apple Cinnamon Cheerios, again, as to Honey Nut Cheerios, Cocoa Pebbles is second in command. I cannot talk. And the good thing about Cocoa Pebbles is I always got those big, huge bags of them, so you could have bowls on bowls without feeling guilty about what you're spending. Obviously, I wouldn't spend the money, but it wasn't like you're wasting anything. So you can just kind of keep eating them, and not realize how much you are, and you don't feel guilty. So Cocoa Pebbles are a great cereal. They could have been higher, but the rest of the cereals on the list made them as low as they are. So Cocoa Pebbles are at number 6. Okay, number 5. I don't really think this one needs an explanation. It's Honey Nut Cheerios. It's the perfect middle ground cereal because there's nothing that stands out about it. There's nothing that makes it bad. It's just good. It's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. So I don't really have much to say about it. One thing is that it does give the milk at the end a little bit of a good taste. And you can have it with a bunch of other foods, not just the cereal itself and milk. You can have it dry. You can have it in mixes. Bunch of different stuff. So Honey Nut Cheerios is a really balanced cereal that I'm putting at 5. Okay, so number 4. Haven't had this one in a minute, but I still love it. It's Golden Grahams. Now, Golden Grahams, I don't really know how to describe them. They are just good. They taste basically like Honey Nut Cheerios times 20. They're really, really good. I just really don't know how to describe how good they are. Once again, there's nothing bad about them, nothing totally good about them. The taste is really good plus. But aside from that, that's why they hit number 4. Okay, so number 3 is Lucky Charms. Now, why did I pick Lucky Charms? I want to know, how do you eat your Lucky Charms? Do you just eat them all at once? Or like I do you have the little actual cereal parts and then save all the marshmallows for that one bite at the end that just makes your whole day? Probably makes my week, honestly. That's what I do. And that's the exact reason why they're at number 3. There is nothing else good about this cereal. The milk almost makes it too heavy at the end because of the marshmallows. But having that bite of 20 to 25 marshmallows and having that absolute diabetic shock sensation rush through your body at the end, it's amazing. And that is the only reason why Lucky Charms is at 3. Nothing really else good about it except for the marshmallows. So, yeah. Okay, so number 2. Kind of a controversial one, but Fruity Pebbles. Now, hear me out on this. The reason Fruity Pebbles are 4 above Cocoa Pebbles is because the flavor. The flavor is so much better than Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles flavor is pretty good, don't get me wrong. The milk makes it though. But Fruity Pebbles, the flavor is so much better and it tastes so much better when it's been sitting in milk for a while. The only downside to the cereal is you can't have it without milk, unlike a lot of the cereals on the list. But the flavor itself, it's probably got the best flavor on this list, and that gets it at number 2. So, kind of a controversial one, debating on putting it at number 1, but number 1 I think is a lot better. Okay, number 1. Now, I took a lot of thought into this. No, I'm just kidding, I didn't. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Got him!
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, great flavor. It's cinnamon and it's milk. Shouldn't work together, but it does. And the milk on the end, oh my gosh. The milk at the end is great. You can't go wrong with it. So basically everything on this list that I've mentioned has a upside and a downside in terms of milk and flavor. Now, put them two together, you have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And also, advertising. The Cinnamon Toast Cruncher ads are so weird and so funny at the same time, but it works. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is just such a good cereal. I'd probably say great. I can't really describe how good it is. Just have a bowl right now if you have it. Just get a bowl. That's all I'm saying. It's the best cereal ever made. So that's my number 1. Alright y'all, that was my top 10 list for cereals. I hope y'all enjoyed. Comment below which is your favorite cereal, and I'll see y'all in the next video.